Sueberry is saying, have you read the Final Destination novels? I gotta say, I gotta do a little shout out here because I do appreciate y'all for checking out this video. Biggest video I've ever put on this page was talking about the Final Destination novels, and I greatly appreciate you all for watching that. And yes, I've talked a little bit about how the movies have already borrowed some ideas from the novels, and Bloodlines even did that with its elevator kill, if you remember. That is a direct homage to one of the books that takes place in Las Vegas, where a bunch of characters get into a glass elevator and it falls to the ground and everybody dies. Oof. So that's like basically right from the book, which is nuts. And Final Destination, I think it was Final Destination 4 that takes another kill and I can't remember which one it is off the top of my head, but the bathtub. You know the bathtub scene in 4?
Oh yeah.
Right from one of the novels, dude. It's crazy.
Jeez, man, that is crazy, man. I mean, I do remember you had with your video out about that, and I was thinking to myself, shit, man, I gotta read these novels, because it's like, it's always cool, like with Stephen King stuff, either I've already read the novels before the movies, or if I see the movie, then I go back and read his novel or whatever, because it's always interesting to kind of see the little variations, whether I like one form of the project better than the other. It's always cool to see how things kind of leap from the page onto screen.
And it's so interesting because the novels definitely take a different direction with the concept, like what you're talking about. There's an entire novel, from what I remember, where death is a physical person and comes to the person who had the premonition, and everybody's dying. They're trying to figure it out. Death strikes up a deal with the premonition character and says, "If you just kill all of your friends, you can live." And she's like, okay. And however you feel about that, it changes the dynamic of the story entirely. So it is something interesting. I don't think that's a better way to take it, but it is an interesting idea to throw out there.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, again, it's when you think about the whole idea of death, and especially if you know that you're going to die, like we've seen in all these movies, the premonitions and all that stuff. It's really dark stuff, man. Because like what do you do? How does that affect you, like mentally? And I think some of the movies have handled that very well, because I mean, just imagining that myself, it would literally drive myself crazy. Having that knowledge, or even that fear that it's imminent, like it would totally mess with me. And so I think that that's another cool thing about this franchise, that it's able to do that most franchises aren't able to do. It's what makes it fresh, and stand out. There's no other franchise like Final Destination.
Final Destination really is just the fear of knowing exactly when you're going to die. You know what I mean? That's really all it comes down to in layman's terms. And I think that's, like, again, just another brilliant element to it. It's something that, again, is coming for all of us. But when you know when it's going to happen, the whole idea of like, well, here's the order it's going to happen in, and where you're at in that line. That's horrifying. I would never want to know when it was going to happen. I just want to live, and if it happens, whatever.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you see these characters. I mean, like even the grandmother in Bloodlines. I mean, literally just like watching everything, because anything could like kill you. It's like, don't step outside of that door, you're past that line, because it's going to be over. That's horrifying to think about. Like, dude, you can't even relax.
No.
It's like, geez,
how was she sleeping all that time?
Right? Exactly. Ain't that the truth? He's sleeping with one eye open.
Just anytime something starts to move, you're like, nope. That's crazy. I couldn't live like that. That's hell. That's literally hell.
Agreed.
Fort Misery, though, is saying, wasn't there a newspaper reference of Kimberly in Final Destination 3 where it said she died? Or am I not remembering what the paper said?
Yeah.
Now, it's a behind the scenes extra, right, Knight? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it was I think it was a deleted scene, or maybe it wasn't an extra or something like that, where I think it was a wood chipper or something, her and the sheriff. And I forgot, it was crazy, but it was like a newspaper clipping. And that's what it was. But as far as I understand it, and and maybe I'm wrong, but as far as I understand it, that's not canon.
Not anymore. I mean,
definitely not anymore after Bloodlines, right?
And how I look at it is like that was part of like the behind the scenes of Final Destination 3. That's not actually in the film itself. So
Yeah.
I just don't really take that as canon anyways. But then Bloodlines came out and yeah, I mean Tony Todd just straight up says Kimberly Corman survived, but like that's it.
Yeah.
So
And the other thing too is that being that it was a newspaper clipping, I mean, if they really wanted to kind of, try to make it make sense anyways, I mean, that doesn't mean that it actually happened. It's like you see clippings or the National Enquirer and stuff like that all the time. So, but again, like you said, Tony Todd said it literally in Bloodlines.
and I'm just seeing this from Erica, which is crazy. Thank you for the 5, Erica.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, isn't there a special features on one of the DVDs that had Kimberly and the other, the cop whose name I'm totally forgetting. Burke, yes. Die by wood chipper. Is that not real? Haven't seen it, so I don't know. It is real. It's not actually, physically a part of Final Destination 3. Kimberly only gets talked about again by Bloodworth in part 6. So that's, to me, that confirms her fate, essentially. I think the wood chipper thing's just BS.
Put it this way. The filmmakers have actually literally talked to AJ Cook. So, like it is what it is, man.
And they're like in control of this universe. You know what I mean? Like the people writing the scripts for whatever comes next, they're the ones who are to say, right? More than anybody.
Right.
But yeah, I think, for me personally, I wouldn't even go so far as to call this a retcon. It's just like, that's how 2 left off with these characters. And now we're moving into, the future, just knowing, that they're still out there. They're still alive.
Yeah. I mean, Clear survived, granted she locked herself in a padded room, but, so we were shown that it was possible right after the first film. So.
And that didn't last long for her, but
no,
she had a little more time, right?
She did, man. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw it too, and I love it. I keep saying I love it so much, and I really do. But I was devastated when Ali Lauder died. I was like, no, I love Clear so much. She's such a great character. But death has to keep those receipts.
Exact. Can't let anyone go by the wayside. So
no.
I do love a lot of the characters in this series. There's a part of me that almost wishes we could see like Alex Browning again.
Yes.
His off-screen death sucks balls, by the way.
Right? Oh my God. It's like, how could you do that to Alex? Like he was the prototype, the alpha, the first one, it's like, you can't do him dirty like that, but they sure did.
I mean, so off screen, he gets hit by a brick. And that's how, like a falling brick, that's what kills him. After all of that,
right.
That's what takes him. That's a death I would be okay with retconning, just to bring him back and kill him in a more satisfying way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's honestly, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why the wood chipper thing is like a little disappointing. Like you can't tell me something cool like that happened off screen and then not show it to me.
Yeah. Good point.
Like, wouldn't it be kind of dope if she does come back for Final Destination 7 and then dies via wood chipper? Like, that would actually be kind of sick.
It would. I'm sure they probably even thought of that too. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but I'm sure that's been thought of,
Anything can happen. Fingers crossed,
Anything can happen. Stay away from trash trucks too.
Yes. Oh my God.
That was so gross. I was like, oh my God. Whew.
I was really shocked to find out they did that kill practically because it looks very digital in the film.
It does. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I will admit it does look digital, but man, hey, practical. I appreciate a lot of these filmmakers still trying to do practical shit. Like that's awesome. Like, and I hope that continues as much as possible. That is, because practical just has this this organic feel to it, and it's awesome. And digital, well, hey, what can you do? It is what it is.
You can almost tell when you can always tell when something's digital. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do love that this franchise, for the most part, not all the time, but it does commit to some practical effects here and there, which is pretty sweet.
It is.
The MRI scene is fucking sick in the last movie.
Bro, I was just sitting there, and we were, in the theater watching it, and I'm just like, okay, how is this gonna go? And I think another cool thing about Bloodlines, they were really able to tease out the deaths in a very a very cool way. You know what I mean? Like they were really kind of taking their time with a lot of stuff. The whole MRI thing was set up for so long, you know, and like, how is this going to work? The vending machine, like, what are we doing? You know, and it just kept going and going and going. It's like, when is it going to happen? And when it happens, it's like, oh man, piercings never looked so painful.
Right? Oh my, and the spring through the head in that scene too. You just made me think about that with the vending machine. I love that's a great little, it's so Looney Tunes, but it works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you're so waiting for the vending machine to like crush them or whatever, you know, fall over and crush them. You don't even think, or at least I didn't even think about the spring. You know what I mean? Like, and again, that's the fun. Even though it sounds sadistic, but that's the fun of this franchise when it's at its best, which is usually where it's at its best. I always think about the kid who went to the dentist and like all of this shit could have happened and stuff is going down his mouth and getting, you know, saved at the very last second. And then he's walking out, he sees the birds. Hey, look, we've all done that before as kids. And he just starts squawking at them. And next, you know, boom, and it looks so gnarly. Oh my god,
that's the funniest fucking scene in this whole franchise, dude.
Probably.
I like that. It makes me laugh every time I see it. And that's, see, I think that is part of the very necessary and important formula of this franchise, though. If it wasn't a little goofy, there wouldn't be any levity to it. It would just be all these innocent people dying, you know. And if it didn't have that, I think it would be too dark, because that to me is the great balance of this series. And it's morbid as fuck. I mean, that is a child dying by a very terrible accident, but it's so funny.
Yeah, it is. I mean, all that shit in the dentist was just all this setup.
I love
that. I love that, man. All the setup in 3 with the football player, you know, and like all this shit's happening in the gym and water by the cords and this and that, and he's like, all I do is win. Oh! And then boom, and it's like, oh my god, that was so awesome. It's like, what's going on,
dude? Yeah, I love that about this series. Great setup to some solid punchlines. But yeah, you gotta love that. It's funny as hell. Erica, thank you so much for the 5 again. We really appreciate that.